What up, Spam Fam? Hello, hello, hello. Creators Book 2, episode 31. I apparently couldn't be bothered with that today. It was very, whatever. Anyway, book's getting very thick. But today we are doing create an ink blot. I don't have ink, so this is going to be interesting. I figured I could use paint or watercolour, which is the route I went down, so. My original idea was to just put it in the book, squash the page, ta-da, done. But we all know that would be too easy for me. I like to make my own life harder. So I have some watercolour, like postcard paper. So I choose watercolour. A rainbow of colours, some straws, watercolour, water, obviously. My theory is I'm just going to try and use loads of different techniques. I have this little dropper thing that I use when watercolour. I used to give my dog medicine with it. Not anymore, obviously. Not because of any sad reasons, just he doesn't take that medication anymore. So I'm trying to dot them on, blow them with a straw, but that was making me very lightheaded. Then I did short little bursts of air, and that helped, but I didn't like the effect. So I'm going to try rolling it, then blowing it. Not loving it. Then my OCD brain decided to go with the dot dot dot, which was very pleasing, and then wait for it. Did you see that? I'm keeping that paper towel. I kept it. I dried it. It's pretty. It's a pretty, pretty kitchen towel. And it stays. Yeah, I tried dabbing paper on it, and then I went for a darker coloured one because all the others were bright. Didn't go well. So, they're going to dry, but now we are going to create, once I warm my hands up, we're going to create some eyes and mouths to go with these creatures. So, I'm just going to do a whole load of random eyes. We're going to go crazy eyes, we're going to go zombie eye, we're going to go bored eyes, happy eyes, angry eyes, all the eyes. And do the same with some mouths as well. Now, I don't know which eyes are going to go with which watercolour thing, but I just wanted an array so that I could pick the eyes and the mouth that should go with whatever creature comes out. But we don't know yet. I'm not looking. I'm not thinking that far ahead. My eyes and mouths. I am going to add a little bit of colour. Personal preference. I guess you can cut them out and just stick them on like that. But I just figured I'd add a bit of colour. Going to do it to the mouths and the eyes. It'll also help me because I will know that that mouth goes with those eyes. I forgot what eyes went with that mouth. See? But time to snippy snippy. Ta-da! So we have all our eyes and mouths. And then which is kind of tomorrow, I guess, technically, because it'll be the next day. I let the watercolour things dry for 24 hours, just to be safe. I feel like they would have been dry after a couple of hours, but I like to give extra time, because my house is cold. Next day. Yay. They're all dry. This one's still got like the dots on it. So we have our eyes, our mouths, and now I'm just going to look at each one and see if I can see a creature. This was a tester one, so we're going to start with this one. And I can kind of see a body in there, but it feels too obvious. So I'm going to put that one to the side for now. I'm just basically looking at the shape and going, oh, I could put the eyes there. But this is why I did the eyes and that separately. Because now I can play around and put that mouth there. No, it doesn't work. But I'm also looking at this one like I just need eyes on that one. Because that bit in the centre looks like a tongue. But I like the idea of that being the tongue, so we're gonna cut this out. Stick everything on. And there's our first one. And now we're just going to do the same with the rest of them. Trying to find a shape that I can cut out. Stick the eyes and mouths on it. I'm not worried about the white paper in between because that would be a nightmare to cut out and then stick in the book. Plus, they may need resizing when we get to that stage, so... because they are rather large and I only have A4 size paper to try. But these are my... I decided to call them watercolour wallies. This one looks like he's got a butt on his head, and it also looks like it's going, ah! He's my least favourite, that one. And these twin ones that I tried to make them, like, twinish, but they also came out, like, they covered the whole bit of paper, so I had to make the shapes myself, which I didn't enjoy. But the one with wings looks like a Moomin. It gives me Moomin vibes. Moomin. Moomin. Back to the book. Now I need to arrange these guys in here, and some of them will be shrunk down. Because, obviously, they are rather large. So, some of them are getting some haircuts. Haircuts! I should have done them smaller, but... I've just taken the stuff out the pocket because I need to draw on that side, and on the other side of that page is the pocket that we made back in episode blah, blah, blah.
15.
I'm just going to decorate the page slightly. I'm not going to go overboard because I want the attention to be on them. But I love the name watercolour wallies. I thought I'd frozen then. I'm going to get some watercolour pencils and hope that I can use them on the page and it's not going to ruin the design on the other page. Because I have this design, but it's double-sided, so I need something to protect in between, but it doesn't cover the whole thing. So you are not really seeing the colours here, but I'm going rainbow order with the watercolour Wally's lettering. I do try and go over it with my watercolour brush, but it doesn't make any difference, so I decide it's not worth the sacrifice. So I'm rearranging them. I took a photo of the best order that I had. So we're going to stick our watercolour Wallies in there. Ta-da! We're not done. Ta-da! Just a couple of splats of ink and everything like that over it. Just to add a little bit more texture. But you'll notice that this guy didn't make the cut. It's because I fell in love with him. I fell in love with him. The second that I put those eyeballs on him, off, I fell in love. He is now my best friend, and he's going to stay there. I named him Wallace. Wallace, the watercolour Wally. And I keep getting turkey vibes from him. Like, he kind of reminds me of the turkey from Friends, and I don't know why. But I love him, and he will be staying with us throughout this video. So, deal with it. Anyway, we're on to the next prompt, and I'm still talking about Wallace. Create directions. Now, the idea I had for this was to pick some random pages like I did for the Reminder Bunny. This dude in Creators Book 2. I was going to pick some random pages, do a mishmash again, like that. Because I did have some fun with that, but then I was like, it's repetitive, and it's not been that long since I did the Reminder Bunny. I mean, we could do it. I get stumped sometimes. Because I feel like sometimes I recycle ideas. And I don't want to do that. Especially considering some of the prompts in creating this book. I told you I loved him. Yeah, some of the creatures... I got the Wallies in my brain. Some of the prompts in Create This Book are similar to Create This Book 2, so I feel like I'm repeating myself sometimes. Like, in Create This Book, there's Create a Border. In Create This Book 2, there's Create a Border. So, I try to avoid doing that one. It keeps coming up when I do my random page selection, but I've not long done it, so I'm veto that one. But I decided not to do the random page thing. I went with create a map, because I had this idea of creating a map of Spamland. So we're going to attempt that. And it's going to be sort of a 3-page thing, but it's going to be a folded out type map. But I want to keep things... I want my land to represent things, so we have Burger Land, Paw Print Land, obviously. That's vital. So yeah, Burger Land, and then there's going to be a hand, which is the human land. And then we've got Moriah Land. Then I think it was just the mainland after that. I don't know. I saw this short where they poured like a whole load of rice on the bit of paper and they drew around it as a map. I didn't have no rice, so I just eyeballed it. Now I am drawing in because there's ocean and land. And then in the ocean, I've drawn my 2 shark characters, Finley and Hamage. Finley, you might not know I did him pre-spam, but he is adorable. And then my octopus twins. Olive and... no, wait. Olivia and Oliver. But there's the outline so far. I have marked on there every character that I've drawn. So that's Spam HQ. Ace obviously lives on the mainland with us. And then we've got Burgerland, where the Bob's Burgers characters live. I don't know. And then we have all my characters around the outside. And we even added Wallace, the watercolour Wally. He's been welcomed to the land. I had a lot of fun with this prompt. That's all the land coloured. Now we're gonna do the lakes and the seas. Pink, obviously. Ta-da! So that's gonna go like that. I'm aware that I could have folded it in half, but this paper is cardstock, so when you fold it, it leaves like an ugly little crease down the middle. So I cut it and then stuck it together again. I'm just very particular about it, that's all. I don't want a big crease down the middle of the map. I also created a new spam world type image. Create a fantasy map, that's what I called it. A fantasy map. Open here. Open and explore. Love spam. Ta-da! Welcome to Spamland. I love it. I want to do a bigger version. But Wallace lives there. He lives just under the P. Sorry. Child. Will you? He lives there. They're all over the place. I want to do a bigger version. I even found... yeah, she lives there, and Fillmore lives, like, next door. The Twoos, they live there. Who else is in here that we can point out? We have an array here. Ace obviously lives on the mainland with us. Surly Sue has a island of her own. That one, she has one of the pads. Human Land, my avatar lives there. Moriah Land is up there, and you'll notice there's lines. She's floating away slightly because we're expanding. Which is sad. I don't love Moriah any less, but I need to stretch my wings and step away. But also, the land surrounding is unexplored. So that's for us to explore together. See what happens. What's coming next. Who knows. But we made watercolour Wallies and a fantasy map. And I made a new best friend in Wallace. He is gonna... like, I've stuck him on my wall. He lives there now. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Do hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. And give Wallace a bit of love. I love him! Anyway. That's it, really. That's all for today. I want to do a big version. I got like a massive paper roll that I want to do like a massive version on that we can just expand on each time. Anyway, something to explore. Ha! Get it? Anyway, I'll catch you next time. Come here, Wallace. Come on. Come on. Bye.